Hello and welcome to Froggity Frog Crochet and this stitch guide on how to crochet the basket weave stitch. So this is just one of several ways that you can make a basket weave, but it's really simple to do and uses just back post and front post stitches to create the texture. So to start this stitch, you're going to see a foundation chain in multiples of 8 plus 2 plus 2 for your turning chain. Okay, so let's make the basket weave stitch. So I marked the first chain for my hook because I want my turning chain to count as the first stitch of the row. And then in the fourth chain for my hook, I'm going to make a double crochet. So the basket weave stitch is entirely double crochet based. We're just going to be using front and back post stitches to make the texture. But for row 1, we've got to get set up for those posts. So every stitch in row 1 is a double crochet. So just plain double crochet in every chain for this row, and then in row 2 we will start our post stitches to create our basket weave look. So this stitch uses both front and back post stitches, and it's the combination of those stitches which gives that really lovely woven look to this stitch. But grab some more yarn. There are several variations of the basket weave stitch. There's also the small basket weave, the mini basket weave, and several varieties in between. So there's multiple different ways that you can make this stitch, but all of them are double crochets and all of them use front and back post stitches. Okay, so last stitch of the row. Okay, so after that last double crochet, I'm going to turn and chain 1, and then make a double crochet turning chain in the first stitch of the row. I'm just going to mark that with a stitch marker. Okay, so we're going to be making our front post stitches in blocks of 4. So around the post of the next stitch, we're going to make a front post double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook through the post on the front from one side to the other. Yarn over, make sure you pull up a little bit of a loop because you still want your double crochet to have some height. And then you're going to make a front post double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches as well to make that block of 4. So just make sure you pull up a little bit of a loop every time you get around that post. So around the post, yarn over, put the loop, just pull it up a little bit, and then finish as a regular double crochet. So all your stitches are sitting in front, as so. And then if I just turn it over, you've got that ridge forming on the back. So our next 4 stitches are going to be back post double crochet. So yarn over, and this time go around the back of the stitch to go around the post, which forces the top loops down. So double crochet, and again make sure you pull up a little bit of a loop and finish as a regular double crochet. And we're going to do that. So we've got 4 back post stitches in a row after those front post ones. That's 2. Oops, yarn over, round the back. Okay, so we've got 3 so far, 1 more. So hook round the back, still around that post. It's going to force that post out to the back, force those front loops down. Just make sure you pull up that little bit of a loop. And there we have 4 back post double crochet. So there's our front post, everything's on the front, and the back post, we've now got the ridge on the front. So after that block of 4 back post double crochet, we go back to front post again. And again, we're going to make 4 front post double crochet. And that's the repeat for this row. 4 front post double crochet followed by 4 back post double crochet. And you just repeat that across the row. Okay, so there's the 4 front posts. And you can already start to see that woven effect coming in. So our next 4 stitches are back post again. Oops. So just going around the back of the stitch this time. So it pulls that post to the back. So we end up with that ridge in front. So it's called the back post just because we're making those stitches from the back of the post rather than the front. 2, 3, 1 more. So once you finish this set of 4 back post stitches, when you get to the end of the row, you will have 1 stitch left, and then you're going to make a regular double crochet into that stitch. Let's get rid of that stitch marker, it's in the way. And back post. So regular double crochet next to the back post stitches. And that is row 2. So row 3, we're going to turn, chain 1, and make a double crochet in the first stitch of the row. A double crochet turning chain in the first stitch of the row, should say. This does count as our first stitch of the row. Okay, so we want our stitches to look like the same as they did on the front. So front and back post stitches are essentially the same stitch, it's just how they look. So if I turn that round, we had back post stitches that we finished the row with. When we turn it around, they look like front post stitches. So we want another set of stitches that looks exactly like this. So we're going to make back post stitches. So yarn over, hook from back to front, and make a back post double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we now got the ridge on the back, which is what we had on the front. So front and back post are really quite confusing when you're just using those stitches and you try and describe the look you want, because it's just the same stitch in reverse. So our next block of 4 is going to be front post stitches. Okay, so we're just alternating between front post and back post for each block of 4. Two, 3, and 4. Our next block of 4 is back post stitches. Okay, so from front back to front, make the back post stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're just going to keep alternating between each set of blocks of 4 until you reach the end of the row. So my last block of 4 for this row, we have front post double crochet. So when I've done this set of 4, I'll have 1 stitch left. So after you've finished your last block of 4 front post double crochet, you're going to make a double crochet in the last stitch of the row. So the only time you're working into the loops of this stitch is the first and last stitches. All of the stitches are made around the posts. Okay, so now we're going to turn and chain 1. Make a double crochet turning chain in the first stitch of the row. So row 4 is a repeat of row 3. But because the stitches are the opposites of each other, it's going to look the same. So we're going to make back post double crochet stitches as our first block. That's what we started row 3 with. So working into the back, going to make a block of 4 back post double crochet. 2, 3, and 4. So if you remember the end of row 3, we made front post stitches. If you turn it over, they look like back post stitches. So by making back post stitches, we've made it look the same as we did the row below. This really is a quirk of these stitches. Makes it sound like you're talking gobbledygook when trying to describe them. Okay, so they're back post stitches, so our next set of 4 are front post stitches. So 4 front post stitches into the next block. Then the next block of 4 is back post stitches. One, 2, 3, and 4. Just keep remembering to pull up those loops once you've worked around the post. And then 4 front post stitches. Yep. So keep alternating between the different blocks and work across the row. So, and then last stitch of the row, we make a double crochet into the loops. And you can really see how that basket weave is now coming through. Okay. So each block is going to look the same, even though these are 2 different stitches. So we did front post stitches there, but we did back post stitches here. And it's just because those stitches are opposite. So if you turn it over, they look the same. We did back post stitches here, but front post here. So although the design calls for 2 different stitches, they look the same because they are the same stitch, just opposite. Okay. So rows 5 and 6 are a repeat of row 2. So turn, chain 1, make a double crochet in the first stitch, and row 2 we started with a block of front post double crochet. So as long as you know which stitch you're starting with, it's really easy to keep track of what stitch you need to do, because it's all just in blocks of 4, and you change whether it's front or back post depending on what you did before. So I'm going to do rows 5 and 6, which are both repeats of row 2, and I will be back and show you what that looks like in just a second. Okay, so there we go. Row 6 is finished, and you can see that woven effect really nicely coming through. So to continue with the basket weave stitch, you're going to be repeating rows 3 to 6 till you have as many rows as you need. And there is your stitch guide on how to crochet the basket weave stitch. So I would love to see what you make with this stitch. Please do come and show us over in our Facebook group, Froggity Frogs Ribbons and Stitch. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well for more crochet stitches, free crochet patterns, and crochet hints and tips. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time for the next video. Bye for now.